You know, I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off with this. But fuck it, let's go. Some guys, it's me, Zero, and I know I haven't been uploading anything for a while. Well, that's due to it being freaking freezing in my house. But um, after a while, the it started being cold, and I was just me plus the cold just makes me like extremely lazy and not want to be bothered to upload anything at all. But that's besides the point. The point of this was I want to share my thoughts on Evangelion, which during the think first few weeks of March, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it since I've seen parodies. I've seen the from I know I'm good at pronounce I'm good at mispronounce his name. Gigook. The he did a ev- he did a parody of the Rebuild movie, and Lil Karibo did a one shot of it, and Sapphire Strawberry Cream, she like voiced a parody of it of comic of the Evangelion, and the main consensus was like Shinji like was a pansy, and that's the main thing I didn't want to deal with because I wasn't really in the mood for those type of characters. I can't stand whiny characters, like characters who are really indecisive, have no idea what they're wanted, like what they're trying to do, unless it's like literally when the actors are just like straight up in their face and they're just it's like case in point, Yuki from Future Diary. I can't stand him. He got better towards the end, but the beginning I couldn't stand him, and I have loads of character types like that with a passion. But Shinji wasn't as bad as people said made him out to be. Like, granted, it was like something, 5 episodes. I literally wanted to punch him in the face, but other than that, I actually could understand where Shinji was coming from, and as the series went on, I was just wow. Like I knew like when I was a child, I knew about Neon Genesis Evangelion, but shrugged it off as like, oh, it's it's just another mecha anime. And another thing was that I I can't remember where, but I remember the scene where Shinji strangles Asuka and Misato kissing him. I remember those two scenes, but I don't. For the life of me, cannot remember where I saw those. But I know I saw those, and I automatically linked those to Evangelion, and I was like, "Oh, God, this is dark. This is like real dark." And I later find out like it was really, really depressing, and the it was just threw a lot of things at you, and I wasn't even not even the religious symbolism because oh my God, the fucking religious symbolism in that I swear to God, if I hear another goddamn religious song or Christian song, whatever that song played during Asuka's mind rape, if I had to hear that any longer, I would just. I was just tempted. I was watching it on my Wii U, and I was just tempted to just throw the gamepad just to make it stop. I was like, for the love of God, it just ended already, and it was I know I'm rambling, but there's like a lot I want to talk about, and but my main focal point for me lately that I kept coming back to was like as I was seeing through the picture on this is the relationship between Asuka and Shinji, because besides Misato and Kanji's relationship, there was another relationship that in the series that, or it was one of those where you just have to look deeper into it, and well, not deep into it, but the signs were there and you just didn't know it was there till like later, except like if you're obvious, because it was it like I read a theory on Eva Geeks that like they were there, like they had the forming of a couple, but neither one took the chance, which basically was true, since throughout the series Asuka's like really prideful, and she doesn't want anybody come close to her because she sees that as a weakness. And ironically enough, she wants Shinji to comfort her, and Shinji, being like socially inept, doesn't know how to handle stuff like that because he couldn't tell like Asuka signs of affection for him, and it just came down to both of them being unable to tell their feelings for the other, and basically but still at the same time trying to call the other for help, since that was literally what you've seen like throughout the series, like especially towards the end, like 22, like episode 22, we realized like everything about Asuka was like just one big lie, and that deep down she just wanted somebody to comfort her, and that she had abandonment issues and being replaced, and how her being number one had to be her thing. And as far as Shinji goes, was he basically, from the viewer's standpoint, basically seen Asuka as everything he couldn't be. He just, and he even saw through her. He tried to reach out to her, but it would have worked. She would have allowed him to do it. So both of them were basically hit on that regard, since they both have issues with letting the other in. And then we come to, oh god, the end of Evangeline. That got me depressed, since that basically brought everything to a forefront. Since and let's not forget that infamous scene that starts at the beginning, which is also another scene I saw before and linked it to Evangelion without even seeing it. So yeah, that was a thing. And then with the ending, that was I I'm kind of glad it ended like that. I know like with how the TV series, the original series ended, like 25 and 26 especially, but I saw like 25, 26 as just Shinji man the hell up. That's why I saw the last, like, oh, everybody was so dissatisfied with the ending, like, boo, the last two episodes. I was actually okay with the last two episodes. Ironically, like, obviously the budget restraints was still there, but I got the gist of what it was, because I think he rejected his immortality in the original series. I don't know if I know he rejected it in the end of Evangeline in the movie, but I don't know if he rejected it in the TV series. But still, far as a whole, I and I also noticed, like, looking back, after I finished Evangelion, I noticed like a lot of things, a lot of mecha animes like took from it, like, and I'm not saying they stole it, they just were inspired by it. Like, I thought back to Eureka 7 and how Renta was at the beginning was like similar to Shinji in a way, since he didn't have his own, he had father issues too. His father wasn't there for him, and he just thrusted to a situation he didn't know. They remember Gecko State. He joined them to get close to Eureka, but still, he ended up growing a personality through it. Like all those 50 episodes, I will show them give Eureka 7 credit for that. They had a more budget than freaking Evangelion, and Gurren Lagann. They also the same way with how Simone was basically a pansy until he basically became a carbon copy of Kamina at the end of the series. So yeah, both of those inspired traits from Evangelion. It's like, and that's the main thing I liked about Evangelion. Like the characters, the just admire like characters you could just relate to, like how everybody had their own problems and the psychological welfare. Since that was just that's another plus for me. I'm kind of a stickler for stuff like that. So like if you got some psychological stuff going on for you, count me in. That's just like the best thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off for this comment. It's I kind of like made like thought a comparison. Like, you know, this basically like how each character was like rejecting themselves. Basically, like how in Persona 4, how mostly every character who came to their shadow selves basically denied them as being the real selves, but in actuality, it was part of their personality. Like how Shinji was like denying how why he pilots the A over why is he alive and whatnot. Ray arguing like if she really feels alone, if she's happy to be alone. Asuka fighting with herself on what she wants and who she really is. Like, if when she's literally just starts breaking down, when she has her breakdown, basically. Misato with how she felt about her dad and just a whole lot of complex characters. And far as the rebuilds go, I'm gonna touch on that. I haven't watched any of the rebuilds with the exception to 1.0 since that like I said, that was a parody and made me want to it was basically retelling those first 6 episodes and I already saw the first 6 episodes, so yeah, I really don't like I'm the type of if you haven't noticed, I'm the type of guy who's like, okay, some people say this. Like I'd rather see it myself before I form an opinion of it. Since the only thing I saw in the rebuilds were like literally demos take on them, like the original series versus the rebuilds. And to be honest, I was kind of what's the word for it? Not I'm really not feeling Asuka in the rebuilds. Like don't get me wrong, I like Asuka. I really, really, really like Asuka. She has to be one of my top favorite tsunderes of as of late since she was typically like this guy pointing out in a comment of the same video that Asuka is literally the equivalent to a real life tsundere since she she wants to open up but has a problem opening up, as weird as that sounds. And the fact is that another person commented, I think on I know the director's cut of episode 22. They commented on the video saying that basically the 2.2 was basically what like Ono basically making Evangelion for the fans. So, in other words, Asuka being openly Asuka being a stereotypical tsundere, but opens her feelings up for Shinji's because that was one of the things she didn't do in the original. She liked Shinji, but she didn't express that she liked him. Like she never opened up her feelings, and vice versa. And she does that, and she doesn't have her crush on Kanji. That was another thing, and also her backstory is missing. That too, the reason why she wanted to mature so fast and prove that she didn't need anyone. Kinda, kinda see why I didn't watch that, but that's besides the point. And as far as Misato, I I didn't get that either. I was like, oh, everybody. Shinji was like the one character I didn't know that ended up happening to. He ended up becoming the badass everybody wanted him to. Like everybody complained, like, "Oh, Shinji's a pansy. He won't get into the robot. I need to get into the robot now." And just and Ray was showing emotion. So basically, the it was what it was, and it kind of went against what the original stood for. Like Shinji wasn't the typical hero who would go do the thing, save the girl, save the day. No, like Shinji wasn't like that. He was usually hesitant and needed like a push in the direction to do what he needed to do. It was never like Shinji just decided up on his own, like I need to do this, like or nothing like that. It was never like that. And as far as Mary Makanami or Makan whatever the hell her name is, I want to write her off as a Mary Sue, but who's just there because they decided we're gonna be different guys and add a brand new character. I I just don't know how to feel about that. But like I said, I haven't watched the 2.2 or 2.0. I haven't watched that, but I plan on. And 3.0, 3.0 from the same video Demo did. I saw the review and the breakdown. It was basically again somebody same person who commented said that 2.2 was for the fans. He basically said that 3.0 was how Ono wanted to make Evangelion, which was really dark and depressing from the looks of it, since apparently Trinity fucked up and started Third Impact. And from what I read on Wikipedia, he apparently a fourth one was gonna happen. They literally avoided a fourth impact. So I gotta look at that too. But I'm trying to watch it dubbed, but apparently the dub isn't out, and it's not gonna be out for a while. It was out in theaters, but I was into Evangelion at the point. And another thing, I point out, I watched it dubbed. I don't care. I watched it dubbed, and mainly, and it's this probably gonna piss a lot more people off. Is basically how I feel. Like for me, it's always gonna be that one character that either makes or breaks the sub or dub. For me, it was Asuka, cause Asuka in the dub like spoke German a lot, and that was like the main reason I like Asuka so much, cause she was like because Tiffany Grant was just on point with her. While as in Japanese, the original, she just sounded to me like a typical tsundere, and I was like, Asuka's not like a typical tsundere, and like not at all. In fact, I would say that both Asuka and Ray will pave way to their things, to their architects. Like Asuka being a tsundere but yet a complex tsundere with her reasons why she won't openly show affection because she sees it as a sign of weakness, while Ray, being a kudere at all and not re- rarely showing emotions, was um she was used as an example for other emotionless characters, like, and a few come to mind, like Yin from Darker Than Black, Mai from Canon. As far as who complex Suderis go, besides Asuka, the only Suderi that comes to mind is Rachel from Blaze Blue, since Rachel had to deal. It was a fact. It was the issue of not being able to openly express her feelings. It was the fact that the person of interest of her affection ended up like in a endless cycle where they died repeatedly, and she had to watch as time repeat itself, and he in turn died again and again. And don't even get me started when he became the Black Beast, and she openly shed tears for him. And I'm also not gonna spoil what she said in Chronophantasm, because that was the true declaration right there. But anywho, that's besides the point. Point is, uh, I wanted to wanted to share my feelings with this because it was one of those shows where I kind of wish I would watch it where it was at its hype, and like Eureka 7. I really wish I would have watched that when it was on Toonami, but I didn't because I don't even know because I ended up being good. Like really, really good. And also another that's also another series that ended like on interpreted as your own, and that has its own interpreted as your own ending, since you don't see Ray. I mean, damn, you don't see Renton and Eureka. You just see two dots glowing in the sky, and the Renton's grandpa wondering if like when they'll come back with the kids. And don't get me started on Record 7 AO. That's another video for another time. But as far as the Evangelion goes, it was I can see why a lot of people hype it up. Like it was good. Like I wasn't. I'll be honest. I didn't know what to expect when I heard people constantly bitching and complain about Shinji, but he ended up being a cool character. Like not nearly as bitchy and whiny as people said him to. He was, and I really enjoyed the other characters too, especially Asuka. I was really anticipating when Asuka was there. Like I already liked Misato when she first came up. Like, oh, she's gonna be the bright energetic character in this depressing setting, and just to find out she had issues too. So that was fun. Gendo still, oh god, Gendo still, it's got nothing on Aurelius, nothing on Aurelius at all because he is truly Father Year. That one, I don't care. Like it may be a lame comparison, but Aurelius will always outshine Gendo as Father of the Year because yeah, the Gendo basically abandoned Shinji for like the majority of his life, and then came back to tell him to pilot the robot that has his mother's soul in it for his own plans to reunite with said mother. Compared to Mr. I'm going to not only turn your sister into a puppet, I'm also going to turn your mother into a puppet too. So, yeah, Shinji got off a lot easier than Carl. So, that's that. Anywho, I'm done here, and I'd recommend it watching Evangelion if just for the characters and because it's ironically enough for a mecha anime, it barely had any like fight scenes like that. The rebuilds do though, but not the original series, not by a long shot. And also, just sub or dub is your choice. I'm not gonna be picky about it since I don't care either way. I actually planned on watching it again, subbed, but I was kind of depressed after end of Evangelion, so I'm probably gonna hold off on that. Yeah, hold off on that for a while. But yeah, as far as the rebuilds go, I'll watch them eventually. Probably gonna do that because of how I really, as much as I don't like rebuild Asuka. Well, from what I've heard from rebuild Asuka, I do like her. I do like rebuild Asuka in 3.0 because of the eye patch and the hat. Basically, that's about it. So yeah, kind of really hoping they kind of fix something with 4.0 because basically I'm pretty sure 4.0 is gonna be Shinji trying to fix everything and yeah, yeah, that's all I can say right now. Oh, and I didn't like her. I don't care. I didn't like him. It was that damn yaoi overtone that pissed me off about him. And I'm not a homophobe. I can smell overtones like a mile away, and he he was just there because they just needed someone. Like Shinji was already in a mental state. He was the most stable of minds at the moment. Let's be honest, because as the series went on, he went through some shit none of us would want to go through, and people like people keep saying lying to tell him to man up. Like, yeah, you man up when you nearly kill your best friend. You watch the girl you have feelings for get mind raped by an alien, and you just sit and you try desperately to try to reach out to help her, or to get shot down by your father and have to watch her relive her painful memories, and also watch the girl who's also a clone of your mother die to sacrifice herself for you. Kind of see where Shinji was going. Like, you kind of feel for him there. It didn't help definitely didn't help in the end of Evangelion when he tried to reach out for Asuka to get shot down. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. It was just, like, it was just there, like, at that moment where Shinji needed Asuka, and which he just said no. He just snapped and just I, no one cares about me. And just was like, it's funny how they tricked him into doing that. That Asuka was his trigger to start the third impact. Like that was his trigger. And we're also speaking of end of Evangelion one last time before I close out this video. It was the ending, it got me. I'll tell you that much, because it was one of those where you can interpret it as your own. Because let's be honest, Shinji, it was like, why is he choking Asuka? And he was just like, he didn't know if she was real, because only until she touches his cheek does he realize she's real, and that she literally showed a sign of affection towards him. Like it's literally a picture that said that had Evangelion for dummies, and basically they summed it up. That it was like Shinji had the power to like he had a decision to live in a perfect world where everything's perfect and everybody's one, but he rejected it. Like he had like godhood, and Shinji basically rejected it for like the hurt like people can have. Like yeah, like people get hurt. Like it hurts trying to like understand another, but it's it's worth it in the end. Like if you at least have one person that understands you, and then we find him and Asuka on the beach, and it's like they both rejected it. They both rejected the perfect reality for them, and just so they can face reality, which is that symbolism that in itself, and the whole last line, I was like, come on. He was crying on her chest, like crying on his chest, and then she also remembered that he masturbated over her. So yeah, you can't blame Asuka for that. And it was a lot of things people took from that. Like there two this picture right here is from Retake Evangelion, which was basically uh, like Shinji trying to prevent everything from happening, well, most of it, and him getting closer with Asuka, but just that was a good read. I will admit, there was a lot of fan comics that were good, like the epilogue Evangelion. But retake was basically as good as we get to like a official conclusion, like based on the implications of. But like Demo said, like if if the rebuild served as a sequel to like how the characters were in the past and how they will fix it, then it's okay. But if it's not, then that's a problem. Like how Shinji was being a pansy the first time around. He changed that around to being more reliable. How Asuka wasn't like open with her feelings for Shinji. She's also end up changing around to being open with her feelings. And how Rei didn't show emotion, she shows emotion a lot. And that was another thing that got me about the rebuilds. But yeah, I think I said enough here. I think I rambled on enough. if you got anything, if you got anything from this, just know that it's up to you. Like if you want to watch the series or not. I'm not gonna force you. It's just was it was one of those series that made me think a lot. Like at the end, like just what happens now. Like Monogatari. That was the other series I got before I got to Evangelion, because that ended got me depressed for the first season because I just finished the prequel not too long ago. So I'm probably gonna move on to the second season. But yeah, another one was Darker Than Black, except not Gemini the Meteor. I don't like to talk about that movie. Well, that second season, I don't. Just that's another video too. But anywho, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. I'll probably, as for the beginning, I probably won't make videos about any of those other three topics, except on why Greninja is trash and why I don't care about Mewtwo. Those are legit. I really, really don't care about Mewtwo or Greninja. And I really, really don't see why everybody keep calling Asuka a bitch. That's another thing I don't get either. Like, come on. Did you even make it to like the further in the series? Like it shows. It shows why she acts the way she does. But anywho, beggars can't be choosers. Keep it classy, guys, and I'll see you later.